review on telling time on an analog clock, which is a clock just like this, and then I'm going to show you how to figure out elapsed time, which is the amount of time between two different times given. So first of all, I'm going to review how to tell the time on this clock right here. This is called an analog clock, and then a digital clock is the ones that just tell you the exact time, like on a computer, that's a digital clock. So when we are figuring out what time is on the clock, we need to look at the hour hand by itself and then the minute hand. The hour hand is our shorter one right here. And the trick that I gave you guys is the word hour is shorter than the word minute. So the minute hand is going to be the longer one and the hour hand will be the shorter. To figure out what the hour hand is pointing to, you have to look at the two numbers that it's in between. So in this case, it's in between 3 and 4. And when we are figuring out the hour hand time, you always go to the lower one right here. So this means that the hour is 3. Whoops. Now the minute hand is this long one right here. To figure out the minute hand, there's a couple things you can do. You could count each of these ticks as one, which would take you a few minutes. Or you can know that you can count by 5s at each of the big numbers right here until you get really close to your minute hand, and then you can start counting by 1s. So if I wanted to do this, I could go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And if I were to go to 35, I will pass where the minute hand is pointed. So I will stop at 30 and then just start counting by 1s. So I have 30, 31, 32, 33. So that means it is 3:33 shown on this clock. So that's just a quick review on telling time on an analog clock. Feel free to continue practicing on those worksheets. But now I'm going to show you how to do elapsed time. And again, elapsed time is just the amount of time that comes in between two times given. So like if a party starts, for example, at 11:55 a.m. and ends at 1:20 p.m., the elapsed time would be how long the party was, or how much time came in between the start time and the end time. So something important to remember before we even get into this is there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So when we are counting up by time, like right here, 11:55, once I would hit 60, that's when it would be a new hour. So there is no 11:60. We'll go up to 11:59, and then when you hit 60, it goes to a new hour, so it would jump up to 12. Now, when we do elapsed time, it is much easier to turn it into kind of like a number line, like what is shown right here. And what we're going to do with this is use it to show how much time is passing between each jump that we're going to make, and I'm going to explain that right now. So you start by looking at your start time, and we will put that right here at the beginning. So we're starting at 11:55, and then our end time is 1:20. And now we need to think about what kind of jumps we can make to get to 1:20 while starting at 11:55. The way you do this is you just think about what logical jump you can make. So what I mean by that is if we're at 11:55 and I'm trying to get to 1:20, I don't know exactly how much time is coming in between these two times yet, but I do know that I can jump 1 hour. So I'm going to jump 1 hour. And I'll just use HR as an abbreviation to stand for hour. So if I were to jump 1 hour, that's going to put me at 12:55. So I'm not quite to 120 yet, but now I'm closer. And now I want to make another jump. And I can't jump another hour because then that'll put me at 1:55, which would be past the end time. So something I can do is try to get my time at an even number then, and that might make it a little easier. So to do that, I'm going to just jump 5 minutes. I'll just put M for minutes. Because if I jump 5 minutes, that'll put me at 1 o'clock. Because remember, if we're jumping 5 minutes, it'll be 12:55, then 12:56, 57, 58, 59. And we don't say 12:60 because that's when the hour's over, so it goes to a new hour. So it'd be 1 o'clock. So now I'm at 1 o'clock and I'm trying to get to 1:20. Well, if I'm trying to get to 1:20, I know I can just jump 20 minutes because that'll put me at 1:20. So now to figure out how much time has elapsed, I'm going to add up my hours. So I jumped 1 hour, and then I'll add up my minutes. 20 plus 5 is 25. My elapsed time was 1 hour and 25 minutes. Now we'll do the next one. On this next one, my start time is 6:15 p.m. So I'll put that right here. And my end time is 9:10 p.m. Something I did not mention is you want to keep paying attention to right here, because that tells you whether it's in the morning or the evening. So 11:55 to 1:20 is an hour 25 minutes because we're talking about 11:55 a.m. and 1:20 p.m. If we was talking about 1:20 a.m., that would have been a whole different answer. Down here, we're doing 6:15 p.m. to 9:10 p.m. And just as a reminder, a.m. equals morning, and then p.m. is night. So back to this problem, 6:15 to 9:10. I want to make a first jump. And there is a bigger amount of time between these, but I'm still going to do just an hour and see what it puts me at. If I jump 1 hour, that'll put me at 7:15. I'm still not at 9:10 yet, but I can jump another hour, so I'm going to do that. If I jump another hour, that puts me at 8:15. I can't jump another hour here because that'll put me too far. What I will try, I'm going to jump just 30 minutes and see what that puts me at. So I'll do 30 minutes. And if I do 15 plus 30 over here, that'll show me that I'll be at 8:45. So I'm still not there. I'll do a 15-minute jump. So I'll do 45 plus 15. That'll give me 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 60. Now I can't put 8:60, so I know that means that it's 9 o'clock. Now I'm very close. If I'm at 9 o'clock and I'm trying to get to 9:10, I just need to add 10 minutes. So now, to figure out the amount of time that has elapsed, I will add my hours. 1 plus 1, that'll be 2 hours. Then I add my minutes. I have 30, 15, and 10. So I will do 30 plus 15, and I already added that up, so I know it's 45. Now I'll add 10 and get 55. So my time that has elapsed is 2 hours and 55 minutes. Now I'm going to go back to this clock at the beginning just to show you some little tricks. Now, if I think of a quarter, when it's money, I know that means 25. But if I have a quarter on a clock, and a quarter means like a fourth. So if I split this into 4 equal sections, a quarter on the clock is going to actually be 5, 10, 15 minutes. So there's 4 sections on a clock that are each 15 minutes. So if you ever hear of like a quarter after, we'll say it's a quarter after 11, that means it's 1 quarter past 11. 1 quarter would be 11:15. If you ever hear a quarter till, we'll pretend it's a quarter till 12. So it's not 12 yet, that means it'll be 11. And that means it's going to be whatever time is right before the last quarter, because it's a quarter till. So if I were to count all the way to here, I'd get 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So that means it's 45, 11:45. So whenever you hear a quarter after, that'd be 15 minutes after. And then a quarter till would be 15 minutes until the new hour, or 45 minutes. So while you're doing elapsed time, please let me know if you need help. I know it can be a little confusing trying to learn new topics online, but I'm here to help. Just try to do jumps, and they can be as small as they need to be. If you can't figure out if you can get an hour in, try 10 minutes, or 5, or even 1. Just keep going and see what time you're at until you work your way all the way up to the end time. And then you will add up how many hours have passed and how many minutes have passed. If you get an instance where you add up your minutes and it's higher than 60, that means you need to add another hour onto it. So let's just pretend that there was another problem on here, and we added up all of our minutes that we jumped, and we ended up with 65. 65 is greater than the amount of minutes that can be in 1 hour. So all you have to do is just subtract 60 off of it. 5 minus 0 is 5. 6 minus 6 is 0. So we take the 60 that we took off and turn that into an hour. And then our minutes that were left over is the amount of minutes we have. So 65 minutes is actually an hour and 5 minutes. But again, just let me know if you need help with this, because that's totally okay. Try your best and do little jumps if you need to. It's okay.